Okay guys, welcome back. So really a moment we've been waiting quite a while for,
yes,
several
absolutely.
weeks now.
Yeah.
We have Michael with us all the way from Florida, our MIZUNO contest winner.
Yes. Welcome.
Thanks for joining us, Michael.
It's fantastic to be here.
Yeah, so we obviously had the contest going for about a month.
About a month, yeah.
We had intended it to run a fair bit longer, but we got a little
Got
antsy.
too excited and just did it.
We just wanted it to end and someone to win, and we were delighted when Michael won it. So that ended on the 25th of September.
Yes.
So really, very fortunate that Michael's been able to come up and visit with us, and we gave the option to either have a conversation over the phone and do a kind of virtual fit, or come and do the real life thing. So
this is obviously the better result for us too, and for Michael to do the entire bag.
We were
probably
so excited
3 or 4
about it.
videos about it, so it's gonna be great.
I know,
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, the great thing with this is you're already a MIZUNO player, which is, what are the chances of that, of the tens of thousands of entrants into this competition, that you are someone who's a MIZUNO advocate.
Yes.
You've been playing the iron since the mid-2000s, MP60s, a real classic player's iron, and you've loved them.
They've been good to me. I've had some really good rounds, some stinkers, but all in all, these are great clubs. It was love at first sight. I wasn't familiar with Mizuno. I tried out several clubs at a demo day, and I knew they were famous for softball gear, baseball gear, etc. And tried them out, and it was love at first hit. I mean, they were really wonderful.
And at that time, you went through, what was the custom fitting process at that time?
At that time, I mean,
a couple of shafts.
Even fitting was just very primitive. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I had never heard of it. I just, usually you go to a store, you pick a club off the shelf, and there's your clubs. But they had a metal aluminum reflective mirror type on the ground, and tape, and they put tape down to see where you scuffed where you're bottomed out on the club, and they worked on lie angle a little bit, if it was toe up or toe down, etc. And that was about it. They didn't ask me shafts, grips, anything like that. They just kind of, here's a club, start swinging.
Yeah, and that was really it at that time. This world that has evolved over the last 15 years hadn't yet sort of taken off. I mean, running through your set, and you had dabbled a little bit in custom shafts. You had an Aldila NV, which was a real classic in the driver. But other than that, what you had in the clubs, you had a stock shaft in your 5-wood, dynamic gold, same as what most shafts that were in irons at that time. Cleveland CG12s, so nothing really custom in there. So,
stuff that comes
so
off
this
the
will
shelf.
be good.
Yeah.
And your stuff's old enough. I mean, it's at 15, at least 15 years old, most of this stuff.
It's time for an upgrade, but in this day and age, it's not necessarily the most affordable sometimes for a lot of people. So this has been a dream come true. It really has. Yeah, no,
I'm delighted. Okay, well, why don't we get you going? We've grabbed a club that we can somewhat replicate your MP60s. We've got the 919 Tours, and if you look at the back of that, Mike, you'll see the little small cavity that's in there, very similar to your MP60. So this will replicate that. I've moved it to the exact loft and lie of your own 130 gram shaft. So why don't we start there? Use that for baselining. A little closer there, Michael.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Still a little heavy.
You ever find that when you're obviously, Florida turf is notoriously kind of soft.
A lot of digging in, a lot of more fat shots.
And one thing that's evident straight away as you swing these first 4 or 5 is, you've got quite a lot of speed.
Swing too hard.
Yeah, I mean, certainly too hard is probably more a feeling that you get when you feel like you're no longer in sync. Not too hard in a sense that, there's people who swing faster, so you're not too hard, but it's rhythm, isn't it? You've got to have good rhythm to it and make sure your timing is on. So just probably just be conscious of that for the next few swings.
Better.
Yeah, better strike.
Nice one.
Working the nerves out. All right, swap you for that one. Made a couple of early changes. You've got a tendency to grip it very, very high in the grip. So your left hand's off the top of the grip when you hold it. So you effectively make that club about a ½ inch longer with where you grip it. Now that's very common. I would say more people do that than don't.
Don't realize it.
Yeah, and don't realize it. That's
No.
exactly it. So a lot of people will say, well, I'll just grip down on it. The reality is you won't. Your hands will find their way back to where they're comfortable, which is exactly where they are right now. So let's play with length a little bit. Let's play with weight. Let's see if we can establish a little bit of a better contact through some of those early. That's the 919 forged, yeah.
Heavier. Hit that one well. For me.
That's nice, Michael. What did you feel from that combo in terms of weight, balance, length? What did you get from it?
That was the better setup so far.
Yeah.
As far as feel and everything.
Good.
For sure.
Okay. I'm going to stick with the same head and work through some different shafts.
Still shorter?
No, this is standard length again.
That was
Sounded
better.
really good.
That was a good one. For me.
Crisp. Those are the two best sounding strikes in a row so far. Oh, go! Oh!
They didn't
That would've
feel.
been
They didn't
nice.
feel great, but good result.
Well, I think that's a good indicator that those probably weren't your best strikes, but it sounded like you got through the turf a lot better.
Yeah. As far as feel, that one felt like butter.
It sounded like you struck it nice.
It was a really nice strike, Michael. You just left the face a fraction
Yeah,
open.
that felt great.
Yeah, really nice.
So
Good hit, good
really,
speed and everything. I mean, that's
There you go.
by far the purest of the day so far. It sounded really good.
I don't even feel it hardly.
Different
it just
sensation off
feels.
this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it
You
just
really,
feels
you
great.
really started to get your strike in line.
A little heavy.
Okay. Not
see
bad.
how much more though you're now getting out of your miss hits.
Misses,
very
yeah, that's amazing.
Right, so that's the protection that you're getting from the sole, not really losing all of its energy into the ground.
Right.
So that dynamic lie
That's
angle is
way
now
different.
much better. So you're only 1.2 toe down, very negligible.
Huh.
And more importantly for me, I'm seeing it's not offline as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
So, I mean, I almost want to get a little bit ahead of the questions that will come in terms of what you've given Michael. So you've given Michael what's one of the most pure blades on the market.
Right.
So there's obviously I need forgiveness from anyone who plays golf and isn't a scratch player will say that.
Yeah.
Are you basically playing in a different dimension of forgiveness? Because everyone's idea of forgiveness is heel to toe. I mishit it heel or a toe, I need a big fat iron.
That's right.
You're giving him forgiveness in basically strike or strike depth in the turf.
Trying to make that contact as sort of pure as we possibly can, trying to get the best relationship between the club and the ground, trying to make sure it's not when it hits the ground it doesn't just dump all the energy into it. It will sort of glide through it, and the ones that you've hit really good, you can just hear how they take care of themselves, those ones, but it's managing the rest of them to produce a similar result.
felt good.
How good does that sound?
Jeez. Oh.
That felt really good.
Covering the stick there,
It's
Mike.
light. I mean, it felt light, and it
Yeah.
was, wow, that was really, really nice.
Numbers are-
Good feel.
He's really low.
A little heavy,
Yeah.
It's okay.
but
It's going to get to the green, though.
yeah, and that's, hey, when you're playing golf, if I can hit it heavy and still catch
know.
the green, I'm
30
putting.
footer for birdie.
I'm putting. A little heavy, but if I can hit them heavy and be on line like that.
Well, I mean, relatively, it's so much less heavy, and it's got so much
Yes.
more ball speed and spin on it than before.
Yes.
That's been the
Again,
biggest
if
change here.
that's my miss on a Saturday, you know,
know.
whatever,
Yeah,
then
half a
I'll
club.
be a happy camper.
That looks like half a club. I
Yeah.
think when we
Yeah.
started, it looked like he was losing a club or two
Oh.
in some cases on a heavy strike.
Yep,
Half a club is
absolutely.
like, it's not going
That's
to hurt you
nothing,
most of the
yeah.
time.
That's golf.
Yeah, it is. It's true. Good swing, Michael. Nice. Sounded really good.
Sounding really nice.
Yeah. Turned it a bit, but
There's one.
those strikes are starting to
Still good, aren't
really
they?
sound
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Really.
That
Whoa.
that felt good.
That might be your new best one. So what'd you do to the lie angle?
Just flattened it a little
okay.
bit more, just to try and bring out just a little bit more protection against that.
So more toe down.
A little bit more toe down, yeah, just 1 degree. So I had it 1 degree upright at 63. Now I've went back down to 62. We started the day at 61. Matt and I were looking at that dynamic lie angle. It was just a little bit, diggy in the toe. Now when we brought it back up, really helped. Then your contact was getting better. So like we said, bringing that top and the thin sole really helped your strike. Now it's all just fine tuning it. We've got a really good formula going here.
Is that head potentially drooping the shaft less? Because the bigger heads were really toe down.
Yeah.
And now you've changed heads, and his dynamic lie was
Yeah, do
good
you know what?
right away.
It's a really actually good observation.
Must be.
We've seen in the past, and so some of the people watching the channel will be familiar with a guy called Andrew Rice,
Yeah,
who's the top instructor down in the States. Andrew and I done a test maybe 7-8 years ago, where we took the exact same club, exact same shaft, X100 at the same length, and we tested with a really good player, I mean a +2, +3 handicap golfer. Dynamic lie angle on both was so different. And
Just
now,
based on the head.
just based on the properties of the head. So a blade versus, I remember it was like a Titleist blade, and it was a Callaway, one of like the Razor models, really the biggest head we could find.
Yeah.
And then the difference where the Callaway one was significantly toe down and the blade was way more toe up.
Interesting.
It was wild. So the head does make a difference to how it affects the shaft dynamically.
Does that seem like it was a detriment? As well as the
Yeah.
sole width, that toe down was really kind of messing up the strike.
There really is. I mean, those numbers there were 1 millimeter high, or 2 millimeters in the heel, and only 1.3 toe down. So at that scenario, we've got a head that's tilted slightly down. That helps the launch direction
Start right.
go to the right. We've got a strike that, other than a robot, is about as good as a human can do.
Yeah. Just a flush hit.
Yeah, just a flush hit, 120 miles an hour ball speed's the fastest we've seen today, and that one's flown 177. It's really good numbers.
I'll take it.
Yeah, yep, perfect little push draw, Michael. Okay, Michael, so the blade was working really well with the Modus 120 stiff. The 120, that's actually 114 grams. So 120 was probably, other shafts are 120,
Yes.
like a Project X 6.0, an LZ 6.0, DG 120. I wanted it to sit a little bit more like a 115.
Yeah.
And it just seemed to find the sweet spot with your swing, with your timing,
Absolutely.
and that sort of thing.
You're striking it great.
Entertaining the thought maybe of a combo set with the blade, so maybe do sort of wedge to 7 or 6, depending on how we hit this one,
Yep.
and then we'll kind of figure out
Absolutely.
how we're going to combo these up. Okay.
Very good.
Sounded great.
Yeah, that one felt good.
Yep. How much difference in sole width are we talking about with that MMC?
Not much.
Is it minimal?
Yeah, not much. That's why I kind of want to just hang in there and see how these pan out, because we potentially could use a little bit of that pop down in the longer iron. So for a very similar strike, that's a couple of miles an hour extra ball speed.
Good point.
So maybe down in the 4 and 5, we could utilise that.
That's going to go in.
I can't hit that one better.
Go in! Oh. Good swing.
Really good.
So we have not addressed a combo set on the channel before directly with testing. So this process we're going through right now, obviously the blades fit Michael well.
Yep.
Are you more or less trying to identify, like this process is to see where am I going to make that combo set split?
Yeah. In terms of the footprint, looking down at it, do you notice much of a difference? Do they look quite similar?
I think very, very similar.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the keys to a nice transition into a combo set. We don't want it to look foreign when you go from that 7 to the 6 or
very
the 6
comfortable.
to the 5.
Very comfortable.
Good.
That's good.
Yeah, ideally you don't even want to notice, do you?
Yeah.
No.
It's pretty damn good, isn't it? It's pretty damn good. That's not quite what I expected to see.
Yeah, no. So obviously a little bit more ball speed out the blade.
I will say the sound, turf interaction did sound a bit better with the blade.
Yep,
I think that sounded good, but it didn't sound great the way the blade did.
The MMC seemed very straight.
Very straight.
Didn't it? I mean, there was almost no curvature to the MMC at all. So I think certainly 4 and 5 MMCs is a good idea. You know, just those toe and heel strikes were going to be a little bit better. You know, if it's going to stabilize the flight a little bit more, we'll take that. The lofts are a little bit stronger in those MMCs as well.
Right.
So we'll need to kind of almost think about how we transition those in. So we'll probably need to weaken them fractionally in order to create a nice blend.
For Michael, the lofts being traditional, I think, is what's made that iron set so good for him. Part of that has been the lofts, right? So
agreed.
Only 1 degree difference, or is it more?
2. So yeah, 2 degree difference on those.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's
good.
good.
So I think 4 and 5. I think 4 and 5. I really liked you with the 6 with the blade.
Isn't it good?
I really did. What are your own thoughts?
I liked it. I mean, fortunately, I made very good swing, 3 good swings in a row. That always helps. But it felt really good. I still not as soft, or that feel of the MP, the blade is just
the pure blade,
second to none. I mean, that's just awesome. But it's really nice to see it go straight down the line.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit 3 or 4 right down the line in a row. That's encouraging.
Oh, for sure.
Again, it goes back to that word, confidence. If I know I'm going to hit this club, the MMC straight, then that's nice.
Definitely, that's it. So looking at what 4-iron for you, based on these yardages, I mean, your 4-iron is going to be your kind of 190, 195
That's
club.
what it currently, that's my 190 club.
Exactly. So, we will definitely take accuracy and make sure we're not kind of hitting it too far offline.
And some good spin and everything on there, so nice.
Okay.
That's a good little set of irons.
Good. All right, so combo them up nicely, and that was the idea when we talked to Chris Vauchal. That was obviously one of the things they had in mind when they designed that one is the blend, and whether you're going from an MMC to a blade, an MMC to a hot metal blade, the blade length, the offset, the transition, it's all designed to sort of merge together.
And good to hear from Michael that that's practically what he sees as well, just as a golfer, seeing that they don't really kind of differ in appearance at address, which is great. That's what you want,
isn't it? Okay. Good stuff. All right, so the irons are set.
Yep.
We have some wedge stuff to do, some fairway wood and hybrid stuff to do as well. So
exciting.
A little bit more to come from Michael.
All right.
Excellent. Okay, we'll be back soon.